Well, good afternoon, Archie. I don't know whether it's afternoon or morning for you, but I've been meaning to do a video for you since I had the absolute pleasure of picking you up at school and spending some time with you and Granny and with Marks and so forth. That was really a big pleasure for me to be picking you up at school for the first time and seeing how excited you were and looking and seeing how big you were. You know, you've got such a beautiful, powerful body that you're growing for such a young boy. You know, you're going to have beautiful big shoulders and, you know, you've got a great structure coming, and it was wonderful to see you so healthy and looking after yourself and such a, you know, such a clever little boy as you are. It's very heartwarming for me to see how lovely you're growing up and what a beautiful job Granny and Mum are doing helping you grow up to be a beautiful boy. Now, a couple of things did come up whilst that I wanted to talk to you about. I wanted to do a couple of things. One, I wanted to just remind you about what we talked about. Okay, what we talked about in that first video. I just wanted to remind you because it's very important that you understand that, because look, you know, you're at 7 now, 8, 9, 10, you're growing up and you know already you've learned a lot of things from when you first went to school. If you look at when you first went to school, you could think, oh my God, wow, this is really amazing, whatever. But you never would have realized when you were 5, all the things that you were going to learn by the time you were 7. And you look back on them now and think, oh my God, I've learned a lot. And you think, well, it's going to be 8 to next year and 9 and 10. And you hear about things that the people in the classes above you have learned, and you think, oh my God, that's a lot of, how am I going to learn all that? Well, you're in the lucky time in your life when you're going to learn a lot of things. And, you know, it's all good. There's nothing to be worried about. Particularly, I mean, you are one of the lucky ones who are very clever. You know, when you put your mind to something that you want to learn, you probably will learn it. You know, some things are a bit of a challenge, but some things people find hard, but you look like you're going to be able to learn things because I think you've got a pretty clever brain. Your mother's extremely clever. Granny's always been clever. So, you know, you've got a good chance of being able to learn things pretty well and pretty easily. Some people will have challenges, you won't have them. But it doesn't mean that you won't have difficulties sometimes learning some things. Now, when you're learning some things and you find it a little hard or a little bit difficult, remember one thing: you are clever. Now, that's another little lesson. We'll talk about that later, but you will be surprised to realize how clever you are when you grow a little bit more confidence in yourself, to realize that when challenges and things come, you can get on top of them. You can learn about them and you can get on top of them, and you can look back and think, I solved that problem. A little thing came up. The beautiful thing is that you've got your mum, very clever, very resourceful. You've got Granny. She's got wisdom. She's been through a lot of things. Granny and I have been through a lot of things. We've done things. Remember how we solve problems and things. You've got us to call on. Granny, what happens? I got this little problem I'm not quite working out. What do you think about this? And then you might hear your mum say, well, this is what I think. And you can go, okay, I think I understand this, and I think I'll do something about it, whatever. It's all about learning. And you're in the time when you're learning so much in the next 4 or 5 years, so much. So, and it's an exciting time. There's challenges, but there's some challenges, and when you have a bit of a challenge, when you have a challenge, when you think, oh, I can't do this, I don't know what I'm going to do, you know what's going to happen? You're going to learn something, and you're going to have what they call a breakthrough. When you have a challenge and you get nervous and you go, oh, I'm not sure about what I'm going to do here, somewhere along the line, what's going to happen is you're going to learn how to do it, and that's called a breakthrough, a step forward. You've now just learned something that you probably won't forget, and you've grown a little bit, and that's what your life's about right now. So I just want to call you back to the moments and the time when we were playing the chess, we were actually playing the checkers. Now I want you to listen to this and understand what I'm saying here. When you're playing checkers, or chess with somebody who loves you, they're not playing against you. So often when you're playing a game of checkers or chess or any other game, there can be, I'm playing to beat that person, to win the game. When you're playing with someone who loves you, like I do, like Granny does, like Mum does, they're just about like they're sitting around at the table beside you, playing to see and learn and understand what you know, and then help you learn some more. So you'll get, because as you know checkers already, in the checkers game that we played, I showed you that there was a lot more skill. I looked and saw what skills you had as you're starting to learn the game, and I showed you some things where some more skills come from. Now, that's what that was about. So now I want to play some more of that with you, because I want to be able to show you some things about making decisions or looking at what you think might happen next and looking at those options. One of the things about growing up is about, as you're going forward and doing things, you can learn what to do and learn what to do. Yes, like when I said to you, have you got things to do today when you get home? Oh yes, I've got to take things out of my bag, I've got to do this and I've got to do that. On Tuesdays I help Mum take the garbages out. Beautiful. They're all very important routine and structured things that make up an organised life. So you're not flopping about not knowing what to do or just being lazy, because life is so much about having things to do, to look after yourself, brush your shoes, brush your teeth, look after yourself, wash yourself properly in the shower and that sort of thing. But when it comes to a game like checkers, it moves those things into, you know what to do. But in the game, you've got to be thinking about, what is the person that's playing against me or playing with me, what are they going to do next? And what am I going to do next? You see the concept? You've learnt now already that I move the square this way and that way and whatever. Well, in that game, and more so in chess, the learning of the game, and as you learn what can and what can't do, you remember it, so it's very good for your memory, very good. And it's also good to know, okay, I know what everything does now, and if I do this and if I do that, it'll put me in a good place on the game. But each of those games works out very much the same as in life. What am I going to do, and what effect is it going to have? So in the next part of the learning of the checkers, we're going to make it fun. It'll still be fun. It's not like a bunch of work, but we're going to learn a new trick every now and again, or not a new trick, but a new step. And that's really in the next few years, without any rush, doesn't need to be rushed, but in the next few years, you'll get practice at this. Okay, you did it a couple of times when you were looking at your men on the thing, you thought, well, I can do this, and then you've gone, oh, but if I do that, Poppy's going to jump me. So that's the first level of it. Oh, okay, I know that if I do that, Poppy's going to jump me, so I can't do that, move it back. But that turns into thinking more than one step ahead. You go, okay, well, what can I do with all of the people that I've got now? I've got to leave that one alone. Maybe I'll do something with that. So as we slowly move forward here, you'll find yourself learning a skill that is very important in your life. And it's a skill that's going to help you know what's going to happen next. Now, you might not understand necessarily what I'm talking about now, but as your life moves forward 7, 8, and 9, you will develop a thing called your intuition, that you'll have some rules, and you'll know if someone behaves in a certain way, that there's likely something to happen. Like if someone's going to punch you or someone's going to get angry with you, you'll watch their behavior and you'll say, something could happen, I can see, and you probably even see this now because you've learned it as a boy. you know. So that skill can be developed a long way further as you understand a bit more about it. And when you apply it to the chessboard, you'll find that your memory will get so good. You look at it and you'll go, I can see things here, many things here about things I can do and things that if I do, what will my opponent do? And you just learn things. I don't need to go too much into this, but it's a beautiful thing that you've learned to start playing and you're really comfortable with playing checkers and chess. I always say to people that chess is like the game of life, because if you get a chance to be able to look on that board and see some things that can happen, then when you go out into life and you're making decisions as well, you can look and see, well, what if I do this and what if I do that? And you'll find that Mum and Granny will tell you that that's a very good skill to learn as you grow up. And the sooner and the earlier you learn it, the better. Because you can go, okay, well, I'm about to make a decision to do this or do that. And then you start thinking a little bit, okay, what if it goes right? What if it goes wrong? You know, just be able to manage yourself a little bit better. And you'll get what I'm saying when I teach you some of, I think Granny must have already taught you, for instance, or Mum might have. I've taught you the basics of what happens, how you can, when you get your checkers to the end and you get to become a king and you can move around and you can jump over. Well, if you keep taking on each time you play the game a little new trick or a little new something, it's keeping it fun. Don't ever make it work. And whenever you're not comfortable, doing it, well, don't do it, because it's meant to be fun. And the key to it is remembering what I wanted to say. The most important thing I want to say to you is this: when you're playing with someone who loves you, then they're sitting around beside you, playing with you, not against you. They're looking and seeing what you understand, and they're probably going to help you understand a little bit more and grow a little bit more and get better and get better. You might even have to say to them, all right, don't teach me anymore now. I want to just play, and I want you to play as hard as you can against me and see if you can beat me. And that's one day, I tell you, within 2 or 3 years, there's no way I'm going to be able to beat you at any of those games, because you will be smarter than me. You'll know much, much more than me. And you'll say, Poppy, you remember when we played that game initially? Yeah, well, come and play against me now, because I'm going to beat you, Poppy, because I know very lot of things about this game now. And you will. I know you will. It might even be next year. It might even be this year, because you're very clever and you will learn. Poppy didn't learn. When Poppy learned all those moves and all that sort of stuff, it took him, I was probably 15 or 20 by the time I learned those things. You're going to be only 10 or 7, 8, 9. And you'll go, okay, Poppy, come and play with me now. And I won't know that you've learned all these things. And I'll be playing and I'll be saying, oh my God, he's just taken half my people off the board. And I hope that's how it happens. I know that's how it'll happen. And I will always be happy that you know the day you beat me at chess and checkers will be one of the happiest days of my life. And it will happen. And there's no doubt about that. So remember, when you're playing with us and we love you, we're playing with you. We're not playing against you. We're seeing, he hasn't learned that trick yet. I better teach him that one. And then you'll grow and you'll learn something more and you'll learn something more and you'll learn something more. And those things that you learn, you can apply those lessons and those quickness and those things that you've learned out when you're doing your maths and your things at school, because it works your brain. It makes your brain work quicker, smarter. So when you get challenges at school, which school is all about challenges at the moment, to help you learn. If things aren't hard, you don't learn. If everything's easy, well, you don't learn. So they've got to make it a little bit hard for you to learn. You think, oh, I've got to learn. I've got to use this brain of mine. Oh, I get the idea. And you learn and you make steps and steps and steps forward. Now, it works in every part of life, about how you manage your relationships and so forth. But you're such a clever boy. It's just amazing to see how beautiful it is. You're growing up and whatever. So that was one thing I want to tell you. I hope you get that, and I hope we get a chance to talk some more about it. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about was just remembering a little lesson. Is that you don't have to do anything to be loved. Because this becomes, as time goes by and you grow a bit more and the pressure, there's a lot of people outside who've got all these ideas, and some of those ideas they'll be talking to you about, and they'll be trying to scramble the ideas that you know are true. And they'll be trying to say, oh no, that's not true, this is true. And you get that. That's also part of you just going, no, I know what's right. My mum taught me, my granny taught me what's right, and that's what I do. I know what's right. And that doesn't sound right. That sounds wrong, so I'm not doing it. So all of that sort of stuff happens. But what I'm saying is that when you're growing and when your challenges come up, remember there's never anything that's going to change the fact that you don't have to do anything to be loved. You don't have to be smart, clever, good looking, any of that sort of stuff. At any time, you can talk to anybody, the three of us, and probably, as I said, more people. That's the first thing. And the second thing is, and this is a harder one, much harder one, to learn to love yourself. Be proud of yourself. Be proud of the things that you are. You look at yourself in the mirror, you look at yourself, your shiny shoes, and you stand up tall. I notice you stand up very lovely and tall. See, some people, when they're standing up and they're a bit leaning forward like that. Your back is straight like that. That's how you stand up, because you are already inside proud of yourself. You're a good-looking boy. You've got everything going for you. Whether you're good-looking or not doesn't mean you don't love yourself. You make good decisions. You're a kind person. You're quite a kind person. You're not nasty. You're not cruel. Some people are cruel. Some people who have tough lives, much tougher than what you have at school, you'll find some of those people are cruel because they have had cruelty applied to their lives. Their mothers and fathers, and maybe their stepmothers and fathers, have been cruel to them, not loving like you've had around you with your mum and your granny. Cruelness, it's the opposite to kindness and being that way. And you are lucky. You've got that, not lucky, but you've already got a beautiful, kind heart, and you're a kind person. So, you've got that's uncomplicated. You just tell the truth and tell it how it is, and that's how it works. And that's a good thing, and I'm sure that you'll continue that way. And I'll be loving to watch you and help you with that, because sometimes you have challenges, and you'll be able to talk to me and see what I think and how I can help you with that. Okay, so the last thing is about a birthday present. Now, I didn't get you a birthday present because I didn't know what the lay of the land was when I was coming down. So there's not a birthday present sitting in place right now. However, going forward, we're going to be at least I imagine be able to be in communication together, and every now and again I'll see you, and I thank your mother so much for that. She's allowed that to happen, and I'm very grateful for that. So it's a matter of what we do about that, whether we now combine the birthday present with a Christmas present, or what we do. So I don't know. I think I might talk to your mother about what the best idea. Granny and I have had a bit of a discussion about how that might work practically, is combining the Christmas present, the birthday present with a Christmas present. But I think I want to just have a quick talk with your mum about what she thinks, and we will kind of get it from there about what we think we might do. But I'll keep you posted on what we're going to do about that anyway, because it's just got to be a plan that works out properly for everybody. Okay, so I hope you enjoy this little video. I've been buzzing around thinking about the best thing to talk to you about and whatever, and just to make sure that I do one of these, preferably one a week or so. So I hope to get down next week and be able to see you again, providing that everything's running along. And this is going to be an extremely important Christmas for us. So if we get a chance to spend a bit of time during that time, it might be good. We'll see what happens there. But I think this particular Christmas is going to be extremely important for everybody in our family. So we'll see what happens. But it's over and out now from Poppy. And remember, I love you, and I'm looking forward to talking to you next time. Bye, Archie.